Hey, what's going on there, guys? Nick here from AbsoluteMTG, and welcome back to another installment of the Magic the Gathering Stock Market, the web series where we talk about finance for, well, Magic the Gathering. So today we're going to be talking about Battle for Zendikar, and with this, we're not going to be talking about the most expensive cards within the set, and rather, we are going to be looking at the cheaper ones within the set. I really like looking at cheaper cards because they're easy to spec on, they're easy to acquire for most people, and usually they're kind of the loose ends of trades, and you can just kind of get some toss-ins here and there, and you can try to actually maximize your value. And that's mainly what we're trying to do here, especially with the purpose of this video. The set's going to be coming out very shortly, and you just want to maximize your value and get as much as you can, and hopefully turn that into a large profit for yourself, whether you're selling or trading or whatever. So first and foremost, the thing to talk about with this set, and one of the most interesting things to me, are the new lands that we have to play with. So the Tango lands, or whatever you want to call them, it doesn't really matter. The new dual lands that we have within this set are actually pretty awesome. They're dual subtypes, so you can actually fetch for them. And they have a condition to where they enter the battlefield tapped or untapped, given the current contents of the battlefield. But either way, these lands are going to be playable in Standard. You pretty much don't have a choice. You're going to be playing with them if you're playing Standard. And these might actually creep into other formats as well. These being between $7 to $10 currently right now, I think is just an amazing price to actually pick these up, especially because these cards actually have the potential of seeing play in other formats just based on the different styles of decks that actually exist. What would I do with these lands right now? So let's say that Battle for Zendikar comes out, the release is already here, and you open up these Tango lands in surplus to your playset. So what do you do with them? Well, personally, I would actually just hold on to them. Whenever Khans of Tarkir was released and we had the fetch lands, and fetch lands were super dirt cheap, people wanted cards like Wingmate Rock, and they wanted cards like Sarkhan, and I easily traded away those cards to actually get my fetch lands and to actually get just a massive, massive abundance of them. And if you guys follow me on Instagram, you know just quite how many I had of them. I just had dozens upon dozens of extra fetch lands that I just had at my disposal. And pretty much I'm going to be doing the same thing with these Tango lands here. It's going to be something that people are going to want as the set just kind of slows down and people aren't opening up as much product. There's going to be a higher demand for the Tango lands, and if they even see Eternal play, and if they actually make it to Modern and actually make it to Legacy, people are really going to want these. And whenever the set's out of print and you can't actually find the boxes as easily, the price of them is just going to naturally go up. Now, am I saying that you should go out of your way and spend all of your life savings on Tango lands with the expectation that they're going to go up in price and you're going to profit? No, absolutely not. Far from it. That would just be ridiculous. But at the same time, if you have any in surplus past your playsets, you should probably hold on to them. And if somebody's trying to trade away their Tango lands and you have something that you can offer them that is reasonable, absolutely go for it. I think it's a good investment, and it's something that you should hold on to in your collection boxes or trade binders or whatever, but definitely hold on to the Tango lands. Now, outside of the lands within the set, there's probably a laundry list of things that are going to be cool, awesome, and are going to be playable. However, to try to narrow things down onto the things that you should probably be looking out for, the first and foremost card that we have here is Ally Encampment. So there's going to be a lot of players that are going to try and force allies, whether or not they think that it's a competitive deck, whether they're going to try and have some fun with it, or they're just a new player that opened up a few packs and saw allies and then saw Ally Encampment and said, all right, well, I can play like a 4 or 5 color deck and not really get very punished for it. Ally Encampment is one of those cards that just makes everything cohesively just kind of stick together, and it allows you to do a whole lot with just mixing and mashing allies within the set. And I can't imagine that the next set that follows Battle for Zendikar is going to have a few more allies that are going to add to it and are going to make Ally Encampment more playable and just the whole sub-theme more playable in general. Now, if you're a control player, Scattered to the Winds is definitely going to be one of those cards that you're going to need to pick up if you're actually trying to play control. And right now the card's hovering around $3, but I think easily the card's probably going to go up to $5, not very much more. However, I think that right around the $5 range is probably where it's going to just sit at for quite some time. Now, we've seen a variety of different counterspells for 3 mana exist previously. However, there's not been one of them that also allows you to turn one of your lands into a creature, also turn it into a threat against your opponent, give it haste, and allow you to start attacking with it, all out of just a counterspell. So Scattered to the Winds is definitely going to be one of those crucial cards for control, and it's definitely one of them that if you see people with extra ones of them, just pick them up, because somewhere somebody's going to actually want them, and it's going to be great collateral to try to pick up the other things that you actually want out of the set. Now, another card that I feel is going to share some importance for control strategies is Aligned Hedron Network. So this card I don't think is going to be as crucial as Scattered to the Winds. However, I do still think that this card has the potential of seeing play given the right circumstances within the format and the right decks actually existing. So at 4 CMC, hitting the table and exiling all creatures with power 5 or greater pretty much assures you that if your opponent cheats a lot of things into play with something like See the Unwritten, where they're playing like a ramp strategy, for 4 mana you can just swipe everything under and just kind of unwind what your opponent's actually doing. The card is super dirt cheap right now, and I think it's really easy to just pick up a playset. At worst, the card could be like $3-4, but I wouldn't expect a whole massive amount out of it, but at the same time, I think it's a card that potentially could see a sizable amount of play. With the format rotation, we've lost Read the Bones, but we've also picked up Painful Truths, the 3-mana sorcery with Converge, where we allow ourselves to draw X amount of cards and lose X life, where X is the number of colors of mana that were spent to cast Painful Truths. Now, while it's not really the exact same card as Read the Bones, because Read the Bones also incorporated Scry outside of your draw 2, this card could potentially also allow you to draw 3 cards, which is definitely really nice. And for slower decks like mid-range and control, whenever you're trying to get more of an advantage over your opponent, get more resources and more cards ultimately, Painful Truth is just going to be a great card to be able to actually do so. And our last card on our list of things to talk about for Battle for Zendikar is Crumbled to Dust. So for this card, I'm actually not talking about just the regular non-foil copies of them. Rather, I'm actually much more interested in picking up foil copies of this card because it is a better Sowing Salt for us. So this card is 3-in-1 red, where Sowing Salt is double red. It's also devoid, which may make a small difference with the card being colorless, basically. And it pretty much has this exact same effect. Exile target non-basic land, search its controller's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with the same name as that card and exile them. Then that player shuffles his or her library and cries because you just unpieced their Tron land package. So there you guys have it. That is my small list of cards that I'm interested in for Battle for Zendikar and the things that I'm going to be trying to hold on to with the set release and opening packs and whatnot. If you guys enjoyed this video and want to see more installments of the Magic the Gathering stock market, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button on the video and subscribe to the channel for more Magic the Gathering content. Thank you guys for joining me, and until next time, peace out.